Hey folks, welcome back. We're at the start of the classical era as the Mauryans this time around, and we just kind of started a conflict, sort of, with, I guess, who are now at the Han down here. They have a bit of a technology advantage on me. As I hit the end turn and started recording this episode, we see some swordsmen here. So obviously they've already advanced down the tech tree a little bit. I, of course, having just entered the classical era, do not have swordsmen, so I'm going to have to find a way to deal with that. However, there are a few stragglers out here that I think one of them had the retreating effect, maybe? I may be mistaken. However, we're going to try to clean these guys up and see what we can do about these swords here. I think I have enough units that it's not going to be an issue, but we will see. Go ahead and manual battle. Should be able to clear this scout out, no problem. I'm going to bring this guy up onto the high ground and just shoot him to death. There we go, easy peasy. And then one more over here. Okay, they did not have retreating already. I was also looking around at some of my cities, and I noticed that I have quite a bit of industry I can get from some of these infrastructure. I'm going to go ahead and queue those up so I don't forget about them. And same thing up here in San Lorenzo, right? The forge is plus 20. The stoneworks plus 19. Very, very good. I'm going to put those ahead of the stupas that I queued up here. I'm not sure I'll be getting quite the same amount down here quite yet. Plus 15 on the forge is pretty good, but I have some other things I want to build first in this city since it's pretty new. Okay. I am going for standing army, so I'll get access to that iron pretty quickly, as well as this one, and I'll be able to produce swords as well. I don't think I need them in order to beat this army down here. They would just be a nice to have. There's also a part of me that wants to buy out this flood irrigation so I can fill out a second army here. I think I'm going to do that. So we'll move this guy over to industry. Just grab a warrior. Could use another blocker unit. So when they have a technology advantage on their melee, it means I'm going to be cycling my frontline units more, right? Because they do a lot of damage to me. And the javelin throwers, of course, do not have indirect fire, right? Now, the line of sight's more generous than it used to be. Was a major constraint for the sort of javelin type units before. But it's still a problem if you're trying to create a solid front line. Okay, not really anything I can do about that. Thankfully, they're peaceful, so I don't need to worry about that developing. I can take care of it later. I have 2 turns left on the Temple of Artemis. I could pay 7 people to finish that, but that's nearly the entire population of my city, so obviously I'm not exactly interested in that. Okay, so there's standing army. And they don't quite have enough movement to make it to me, which is great. So that gives me time to upgrade my warriors here. I also, so I won't have enough for Cultural Blitz, just because I spent that money upgrading my units, but we'll use that once it becomes available. And the Temple of Artemis is going to be finishing up here soon as well. Let's see. I don't really have 500 gold to spend. It's going to take me a long time to recover from that. This is going to have negative consequences, but I only have plus 49 gold a turn. And at least that moves me on the Liberty axis. Make sure we add that. Whoops. Add that iron into our queue as well. Okay. And let's go ahead and go for this attack, I think. Where do I want to attack from? So they're going to have high ground, kind of, up here. I think I want to, like, try to utilize this area here as much as I can. They'll probably retreat from this anyway. Okay. How are we doing on war score? So they were the ones that declared the war, right? So they've been losing war score basically this entire time. Okay. Let's take a look at what other wonders we can claim. One of the advantages of aesthetes is that it's quite easy to do this, right? Let's see. Pyramid of the Sun is decent. I would like the Mausoleum, maybe. Let's see. Native Blood and Game event, which lets you choose between spawning militia. You're gaining more support at the start of a war. Don't know if I'll have alliances, maybe. That's a lot of stability, though. I think maybe I'll go for the Mausoleum. Though, how's my faith doing? I can't remember how much Temple of Artemis gives you. This is a weird attack. Okay, we're going to start right here. It looks like it's level terrain. And they're going to go down to the flag anyway, which is... Oh, it's not lower terrain. Interesting. Kind of looks like it's uneven. It's hard to tell sometimes. Okay. Okay, and this is the unit that retreated. So hopefully we're going to be able to force a combat this time around. Nope, guess not. Okay. Has it been 2 turns? I lost one person, it's not a big deal. That was from the previous choice that we made. Does it suck to lose one person? Yeah, but it sucks even more to be in a 500 gold deficit. Okay, so Mausoleum, good for a lot of districts. My other options, I don't really know. I mean, Lighthouse would have been alright. I probably would have preferred one of the Ancient Era Wonders, to be honest. It could be an option for La Venta, just because of the number of rivers in this territory, the Pyramid of the Sun, that is. So remember, the Pyramid of the Sun only applies to the territory districts and exploitations, and not for the entire city. Let's go for Pyramid of the Sun. And yeah, there's a little bit of industry either way. Right there's fine. Oops. Not going to work on it quite yet. I have some other things I want to do first. I also have a question of whether or not this current army is large enough that I actually want to push. Because if not, I need to be getting more units, right? More people on industry. I think there's a case to be made that I need some more units. I'm going to go ahead and grab those while these guys kind of work their way up here. I'd like to have 3 armies, I think. Okay, yeah, so they have 2, which is kind of what I figured after that other one retreated. I thought those were the same army, but they are 2 separate armies. So they have the same units. Alright. Army wages. I don't think I need this yet. It's a bit of a wash. You know what? I'll take it, just because I want that extra combat strength by moving towards the homeland axis. Might go for garrisons this game. I was talking in the comments about that in my last video. I never really adjusted back to using garrisons over commons quarters. Okay. Go ahead and upgrade that to swords. And nice thing about upgrades is that the upgrade heals the unit that you're upgrading. I have another, yeah, I do have 2 iron in here. Okay. Do I want to attach? Probably. Let's go ahead and do that. Don't think I actually want to build that there. So this counts as a research quarter. So I'm actually going to build it out into this area where there's not a lot going on. So I'll benefit from research quarter adjacency later down the line. Let's go on expert. I'm going to prioritize industry and then a science and money. But I'm going to leave 1 person on money, just to help a little bit with my income there. It is nice to have a little bit of money just to give you some flexibility in buyout options. Let's see, what's their combat strength like? They're at 28. I'm at 29, so I have slightly higher combat strength. There's hydrology. We're gonna go for this fight here. Now they do have the reinforcements. And what I wasn't careful about in looking at this is that they have a pretty big high ground advantage. I'm actually going to retreat from that, which is a little unusual for me. I should have been paying closer attention when I attacked them from that angle. What I really should have done is come up here and attacked from this angle. Which is too bad, because they had just retreated and were willing to take that fight, right? So we're kind of jockeying for position at the moment. They have 3 armies now. All the same, interestingly. Let's see. I'll lose that territory, but that's not that big of a deal, I don't think. So I get my emblematic unit in 5 turns. They're pretty expensive to upgrade. So I may actually need to consider moving some people over to producing money in some of my cities. Also thinking about where I'm going to fit the hydrology units in. Okay, I think I can get a pretty good angle here. I'm gonna go for this fight. Aha. So they tried to retreat from that, which can be a big mistake in some situations. So now they have much worse terrain than they would have had before. I'm actually going to start with my javelin throwers deployed at the front here, because this terrain looks like it's on the low side. So they wouldn't be able to shoot over my units. Okay, let's start with those archers. And we're going to send a unit over here to block. Let's see. I'm not sure why I can't shoot from this one, or at least it's telling me I can't. I'm going to verify that that's actually true. Huh, weird. Maybe it was like counting itself as being in its own way, which would be very strange, but I can see how that might happen when it comes to a code. Okay, so let's start bringing these swords in. So I'm going to want to do is sort of claim the different points of entry, right? So right here, so that way I have high ground over this river right here where they'll come in, and high ground right here, and it's even right here. Ideally, I would have claimed this spot, but I didn't have quite enough movement. And then down here, I want to take advantage of high ground and adjacencies to try to take the swords out, which I will be able to do no problem. Can't quite get a flank on this guy. We will go ahead and take the flag here. This guy is liable to take quite a bit of damage here, but I think he'll be fine. Otherwise I wouldn't have put him there, obviously. Okay, so they really went for my javelin throwers. I'm surprised they could get that far. Go ahead and take these scout riders out. Make sure we're using our javelin throwers before we sort of cut them off with our own swordsman. There we go. Part of me that wants to cycle that guy out. He's a little bit low health. So just playing it extra safe in terms of my unit HP. I think you can go ahead and take that attack. Still going to keep blocking here. No reason to let them in. There we go. Alright, and there's a Militarist Aerostar. It's a little lacking on that in the last one. And I've met the Axumites. Not quite sure how I've met them. They've come over the sea somehow. Okay. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of stuff that I will want to purchase. Okay, I'm going to refuse this because I want to push on their cities, right? Like the whole thing with the AI is you just want to take their stuff, right? Because they have a lot of benefits early in the game, so they can get ahead of you quite easily. But they don't know how to develop their cities very well. So the sooner you can get them, kind of the better you're going to be. Also, it's just free stuff, right? Okay, let's see what we got here. I didn't realize they could deploy up there. That makes this a little awkward for me. Okay, so I'm gonna go here. Go there. And like that. Huh. There's nowhere I can really go with this guy. I guess I can go here. Not ideal, but I don't want that to be on the front line here. Okay, I'm gonna let them kind of smash into me. I'm just gonna grab that flag. Oh, they have reinforcements down here. Didn't realize that until right at the end there. Thankfully, I've got a wall of swords at the moment. And their units aren't really doing that much damage to me. Okay, great. So these swordsmen came out of their positions to come attack me, which is going to make my life a lot easier here. Okay. Now those archers are a problem, right? Because I don't quite have enough range to attack them with my javelin throwers, so I'm just going to pull these javelin throwers back a bit. Get these ones to a position where they can help me out. I'll just take out the scout riders. In general, I do find it best to just concentrate damage on single units, just in case, you know, you're not really sure where to distribute your damage. The sooner you take out an enemy unit, you know, the less damage they're doing to you in return, right? And it seems obvious, but I think it's easy to get lost in the shuffle sometimes of just taking whatever attack you can get. A lot of combat is really just about maximizing how much damage you can put onto one unit at a single time. And then kind of stopping them from doing the same thing efficiently, right? That's what kind of drives your unit placement overall. So I'm thinking up here we might want to do an obelisk for the stability. I'd put it like up here somewhere, just in a corner that doesn't really matter. I'm going to need actual industry in here though. Not my favorite options. Let's go for the watermill. Gives a pretty decent amount of industry, and then I can start working on some of the other quarters after that. Okay. I did not end my round. Whoops. Okay, easy cleanup.
Over there. Let's go.
I'm gonna let these guys pillage here. I'm going to push down here. What is that? Oh, I thought that was a wonder for a second, which threw me off a bit. Okay, I've met another player here. Carthaginians, okay. Let's see. Let's go for silk. Probably the best luxury in the game, to be honest. I don't have that many maker's quarters yet, but it makes a pretty significant difference on actually building these maker's quarters, right? +2 for every single silk is pretty darn good. Actually going to change this order here. Let's do that. I'm going to try to keep buying that silk whenever I have the opportunity. Okay. There's a part of me that wonders if maybe I should just force the surrender here. I can't remember. Is it like ticking stability? Yeah, from war weariness? Okay. Let's just force the surrender. I'm not going to get any cities, but I am going to get some of their kind of outlying territories. Just want to take as many off of them as I can. Just like that. Yeah, and it would have been a mistake to keep pushing in here, right? Like especially since my units were kind of low on health, I didn't have the health that I needed to keep pushing. So we'll try to take out Kral in the next war, and there will definitely be a next war. I'm going to refuse that. Okay, knowledge authorities. I usually go for the +1 on researchers. I don't know what to pick yet. I'm just going to hold on to that. Where are the Carthaginians? Yeah, I'm fine with the non-aggression pact for now. Not you, you. Buy that dye for that extra production on my cities. And then I think Saffron might be next on the list since I started as the Olmecs, right? So I have the Olmec heads. Do you even get a non-aggression pact out of them? Okay, great. That's really going to lower the likelihood of... wow, they're pretty far ahead. So we're definitely going to have to break that non-aggression pact at a later point because they have so many luxuries, is no doubt the cause here. But for now, it's more beneficial to me than detrimental. Curious what their bonuses are here. They're doing quite well for themselves. Much better than I'm used to the AI doing. Okay. Let's use Cultural Blitz. 930 influence there. Let's do that one. Oops. Okay, tech. Probably into philosophy and then into rhetoric. So we want that extra city cap, and we want to unlock the research quarter as well as the school. And then after that, it's a little bit less importance. Mostly just positioning ourselves for the next era. Another stupa here. I think that works. Should get an outpost up over here. Let me grab just a cheap unit. Prefer a fast unit, but they take 2 turns. You know what? That's fine. Just grab a horseman. Now I could upgrade these guys. It's 360 to do so. So I can't actually do it right now.
Don't fall behind. Keep moving. For the Empire!
But eventually I will want to do that, obviously. Samnahaya are quite strong units. Okay, my swordsman out of the way here. Huh. They're out of line of sight, huh? Okay. Not quite enough to kill the swords there. Okay, and let's bring our reinforcements in. When to keep... Let me check their other units. Can't see their other units. When to keep some swords down here, though, just in case they decide they want to show up with another army. Don't really have a great spot for these javelin throwers right now. I'll put them there. Easy, clean up. Oh, if they want to shoot, there we go. Just want to keep picking those guys off as much as possible. Alright. Leventa's making me my horsemen. Over here, we're also going to need some food. Kind of equal on the animal barns as well as the flood irrigation. Let's move the obelisk down a little bit. San Lorenzo's working on my stupa still. Should really build an embassy at some point. I'll have to figure out what we're doing with that.
Debate and discuss.
Am I on air stars? Generated 0 diplomat stars so far because I still don't have an embassy. So I do really want to prioritize this. I think I can go ahead and put it there. But let's finish the stupa first. 22 food, 14 industry, 4 science. There's some decent options here. We're running a little low on food, and we have plenty of specialist slots, so let's keep growing in that respect. And it might actually move a couple people over to money here. We're gonna go for overproductive because I don't want to pay that 200 money at the moment. I have other uses for it that don't involve resolving events. Okay, they are hate-filled. That's unfortunate for them, I suppose. Okay. See, how are these guys doing? 6,700 fame. Yeah, they're doing very well. So are several of the AI. I guess this is still the point of the game where the AI can do decently. I do feel like, in general, the AI do a little bit better in situations where they are more constrained. So doesn't really matter where we put this. Right there is fine. Okay, that might be an issue. I might be able to deal with that. I really need to knock them out, actually. Those. I'll come back to my discussion with AI in just a second here. Let's get a couple swords. I haven't built the stupas yet. I know that gives me the most influence. I kind of want to build a little bit away from my city, I think. Let's build there. This one can... I don't really know where to put that one. Maybe there. Don't want to take up the river spots. Okay. Let's deal with this guy. Just farming the militarist stars here, really. They do have high grounds. But the AI will typically retreat from fights where they have a big strength disadvantage. Alright. So what I was saying about the AI is that the AI, what I mean by them doing well when they're more constrained, is that I think the AI has some difficulty kind of balancing different objectives. So like producing military and producing infrastructure, right? So in a situation like 4 continents, where they only have one neighbor, and they may not necessarily have to produce military units, or they can do it in a much more limited fashion. I feel like they tend to do a little bit better. Or one like overruns the other, right? Without any kind of counterbalance from the player or other AI. And that's why I think the AI tend to do a little bit better in situations like this. I'm going to go ahead and agree to that, because I don't want them to, like, cancel my trade agreements after I've already invested this much cash. Okay, have to retreat from that for sure. Three turns to make one of those. It's a long time. So I don't really want to be... Whoa. Got something stuck in my throat. Don't really want to be spending production on more units at the moment. It's a bit of an awkward start here for me. I know it's kind of weird terrain here for me because I don't have indirect fire, but we'll try to make the most of it. Go for the guys on the low ground, of course. And the rest of these guys are just kind of sitting in reserve. I'm gonna not attack with these swords since they're on low ground. Okay, easy fight. Now I can go up to the next era, but I definitely want to stick around, right? I'm not even close to getting most of my era stars. Let me take a look at my tech here. Okay, I'm making okay progress, but it's not like amazing. I was thinking about maybe moving some people off science in case I felt like I was going to be going a little too fast, such that I have no more text to research, but still want to collect some of the era stars. But it seems like I'll be okay in that respect. Okay. Go ahead and grab an envoy here so that I can actually start collecting leverage. Gonna demand all of those. Could upgrade one of these units. I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to pull one of these back here, just because it seems like I'll have to deal with some nonsense over here, and they're making a lot of units, right? Once I have this Sumnahaya here, my life's going to get a lot easier, because I have indirect fire, and it's a very strong unit, right? Okay. Go ahead and take that attack. You don't really want to... just kind of hang out in the city. My envoy... there was some leverage around. No longer, apparently. Must have picked it up. Kind of swing wide so we avoid that army. And let's pick up trade expeditions for that transport galley. I will need to kind of embark on the water at some point in the not so distant future. And probably go into conquest so we can work our way over here. Feudalism is one of the really important techs to grab right away. Just that one extra food on tile producing food makes a big difference. It's usually one of the first tech I get, typically. Not always, but quite often.
We have our orders. Here we go.
We're gonna have a lot of grievances on me, which is fine. But they are definitely trespassing in my territories. I'm not sure why I'm not getting those. Okay. Embassy coming out. Should grab the animal barns in here as well. School and library both important, but I feel like I have just enough tech at the moment that I can deprioritize those and build those later. Some percent science on Holy Site would be fine. I'm going to take that. I still haven't determined what to do with knowledge authorities. I do have quite a few trade routes now. Though the researchers kind of in the long game definitely does better in terms of sheer outputs unless you're playing like a really big trade game. Okay. Come down here. Start something like that. Okay. Check on those chariots.
To battle.
Kind of a weird one here. Wanted to go somewhere where I could reasonably attack with these swords, but there wasn't really a good option available to me. Not if I wanted to bring my other swordsmen in, right? If I kept them there, they would have been blocked. Yeah, I kind of figured they'd go for this unit here. So thankfully they were pretty low strength already. Because otherwise they probably would have killed that javelin thrower, but we're good. Okay. See what other resources I can get. They went for the Mongols. Interesting. That's a very odd choice. Go ahead and buy that. I'm also going to buy the porcelain because that'll help me on my money. I feel like they might... I don't know. I don't know what'll happen with them. It seems like they've been pretty aggressive against the blue player here. I also see a player kind of in the corner. Huh. Okay. Let's... maybe we send an envoy over to this other continent, because I don't think I'm going to be getting much on my side of the house here. Okay. Yeah, 150 gold per turn is not amazing, but for having picked double aesthetes, it's fine. Should really be grabbing this territory here. I'll send this army back up to take that territory. That's another one I want to attach to Leventa. I've kind of neglected attaching some of these territories. I could make a case that I should found a city, right? I don't feel like most of these places are good city settles, though. I'm kind of holding off and hoping to take cities off the pink player. There's a part of me that feels like now's the time, even though I'm a little bit out of position with some of my units. I think I'm gonna do it. So that'll be a surprise war. Yeah, should be able to deal with this. So the key for me here is going to be this this high ground. Basically, I just want to camp up here with my ranged units. So let's focus fire on this guy here. Oh, interesting. Did the elephant platforms lose direct fire? Because it looks, or indirect fire, because it seems like they did. Let's move him over here. And everyone else, I think they're just going to stay where they are, to be completely honest. Okay, so archers over here. I'll need to take care of those. I just want to breach the city first, though. It's my first priority. There we go. Then we can get some swords inside. Really like to be able to clear these swords out this turn. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Okay, I did. They'll reinforce that, but that's fine, because I can shoot that with my elephant from where it is, so it's a pretty vulnerable position for them, relatively speaking. I'll have to withdraw this swordsman, of course. Oh, it did a little bit more damage than I thought they were going to do there. So let's take him out. Let's bring some new guys in. Okay. Get in the city there. Move him up here for the adjacency. Start plinking at these citizens. And let's take one of these guys out here. Okay, so that'll drag on for another turn. Alright. Alright. So, Corral. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, take them out. Get these swords in. I think that's, yeah. It's not really a risk of me losing that elephant at this point with the units that they have left. So just going to take it there and take out those citizens with that elephant. Okay, there's our victory. Great blue hole, huh? Forgot what it does. 2 science per researcher. Yeah, that's pretty good. This is a pretty well-developed city, honestly. Alright. Horse Fort is collapsing a little bit. Trade everything, sure. Scientific correspondence. I feel like they might be ahead of me on tech, so I'm going to sign that. I'll always be able to betray them later, right? Which seems kind of likely this game, given where they're at in terms of fame. Who did they pick? Right, the Mongols. Right. Kind of a... Still think that's a weird choice, but it's just the AI doing AI things, really. Man, that... 21. It's hard to say no. I'm going to attach here. And the main reason for that is I want to get a stupa right in here. And I can kind of utilize this area as science stuff. Okay, I need another turn. Let's see, where's a good spot for this? I just want that to develop quickly, so that will work just fine. And we can get a tenet. So we have, what's it called? Be Virtuous as Water as our first tenet. Our second one, let's see. I feel like Bear Not False Witness probably makes the most sense for me with the stupas. Obviously stability on garrison. If you're building a lot of garrisons, that'd be quite good. I don't really have any market quarters, right? So I'm not going to get any benefit from that. I'm going to go for Bear Not False Witness, since I will receive some pretty immediate tangible benefits from that. Oh yeah, look at them. They've researched all this stuff. So glad I signed that. Minus 1,000. I don't think so. Go for overproductive. I'm actually going to move some people off onto money now. And let's take a look at where I can. There's part of me that wants to do it down here. It's not the most optimal in terms of influence, but converting that will help me later without to stop it from getting like those random cultural events, right? Okay. Oh, I didn't do it. I right-clicked instead of left-clicked. There we go. Alright. Go ahead and attach here. Don't think it matters too much where we actually put this. Put it right there. I think out this way seems likely for science quarters. Let's just like crank out this pyramid really quick. Okay, I guess you don't need to work on it. Go ahead and get these. There's also another player out there somewhere. What's that? Okay. Nothing that can take the city back. Typically, I would leave an army back there to stop them from just walking back in and retaking the city. But I think I'm in the clear here. Let's just move some of these swords a little out of the way so I can make use of my ranged units at the start of combat here. Okay, start bringing them in. Go for an attack there. Just want to clear this as fast as possible. Okay, they do have reinforcements. Wasn't paying attention. Thankfully my sword is in a pretty okay spot to deal with that. Okay, great. Finally get in the city. Get on the high ground here, make sure we have that secure. Start picking on the swordsman here. There we go. And I'm actually going to keep them there, because if they come forward to attack me, then I can attack down from the high ground. This guy's at risk. Seems like he'll be fine, but I definitely want to pull him away from combat here. Go right here, where I will have line of sight of everyone still left in combat. Yeah. Usually swordsmen can one-shot archers from high ground. Let's see. Is there anywhere I can go where I can really make use of these guys? Kind of the problem with javelin throwers in situations like this. I think that's good enough for now. And I think I clear this out with my swords on this next turn here. Yeah, and they're just gonna run into me anyway. Alright. They went for the Aztecs. Not gonna save them, I'm afraid. Mount Everest. Okay, some stuff on Main Plaza. They have pretty big cities. Okay, time to do some exploring up this way. Not sure I like the force score reduction from having territories influenced by an opponent, because like Of course they're influenced by an opponent, you just took the cities. Ugh, I hate when they do this. When they found another city. It stops their war support from decreasing. It's very obnoxious. Okay, let's just camp out in these cities. Don't know which one I would prioritize taking yet, because I wouldn't have enough war support for both. Let's see who's been taken. Swahili, Ghanaians, Mongols, and Aztecs. These some options for me still. Not sure who I would pick. Khmer might be an option for this game, given all the rivers that I have. Let's grab craftsmanship here.
Keep moving. We're taking the boats.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I can just... Okay, thank you. Ugh. Could you not? I was trying to... I don't even know where those guys came from. I was trying to move my horsemen to siege that city so I can try to take it out as soon as possible. But now the stupid AI is messing up my plans. Get up onto even terrain here. So my plan was to pull these guys in as reinforcements and have the horses siege, but now I can't do that. It's very annoying. Okay, well, I'll win next turn, but I'm not going to have much war score, so hopefully I actually have enough to take something. Let's see. I'm going to refuse. And I'm actually, or sorry, no, not the Swahili, them. I'm going to renounce that just because it's unlikely I'll be able to make use of that. Oh, come on. I hate the AI offering surrenders, how they get more war score when they do that. I hate it. It's... I honestly might end up losing this. I should have accepted. I forgot about them getting war score back. Now I have to take this city next turn or else I lose the war. Okay. Make sure we siege it. Could you not? I'm very upset right now with these game mechanics. Fortunately, we need to come down onto the low ground to make that attack so we can pull these other guys in. This fight might give me the boost that I need to make sure I actually win the war here. Possibly. Make sure we take those archers out. These swordsmen will kill themselves on one of my units. There we go. Okay. And we're going to need foreign outposts here. Just to prepare for tech into the next era. So I need one more expansionist star too. We're not going to make it up there in time, so... Okay, their war support at least is going to collapse before mine. Or, unless they do this. Come on, just... leave me alone. Please go away. I can't beat great swords. So basically I need to just survive this combat. If I don't, I lose. Like, not just the fight, but the entire war. I don't know where these guys even came from. Oh my god. This is so obnoxious. Actually, I don't know what's gonna happen here. So I feel like we both lose. Which is ridiculous, right? Like, I have their cities, and they just founded another one. I don't know, it's a very player thing to do. It's kind of... So, I know a lot of people have encouraged me to play multiplayer. I don't like multiplayer in 4X games. Because I feel like it takes the fun out of the game in a way. It's kind of about abusing whatever the most efficient thing is, right? And I can do that, but I don't feel like it makes the game enjoyable. And it makes it a little too high stress in some ways. Okay, so we just got peace, and I went through all that for nothing. Just instant resolve. Okay, so I have a bunch of demands. We're gonna have to try this again. And now they're ahead of me on tech again. Need to think about attaching another outpost just to get this last star here. I think probably this one, since I have the kind of river infrastructure in the city. Don't need to claim the Colosseum. Might have to go up without my last aesthete star. I think it's time. Don't think the Bulgarians are really an option here. I don't need to go harder on influence. Influence is a pretty weak output. Teutons might be interesting with the knights. I think the Khmer would be quite good for me. I do like the English. Oh, I haven't done the stupa here. I have enough to just buy it outright? I don't. Okay, well, we'll lose out on a stupa. It's really not a problem, but it does feel bad missing one of your emblematics. That's fine here. Let's see. It's 4 industry per adjacent river. San Lorenzo is kind of occupying the best spot for that. Yeah, I feel like that might be the one that makes the most sense. Mississippians. I don't know. I've talked about the Mississippians before, how they kind of like the tile bonuses encourage you to build on the river tiles, but you often don't want to actually build on top of them. Taino, of course, are very good. And honestly, with my culture output, they might be quite strong here. It's hard to say no to the Taino sometimes. There's the Umayyads, and they would allow me to catch back up in tech pretty quickly. The Mongols aren't that far ahead of me on tech. I don't know who my ideal choice would have been here. I think the Ghanaians could have been a play. There's the English as well. This really leans into the farmer's quarter stuff. I feel like I don't need more of that. 9, 16. I do have quite a few followers. I don't know. I think the Khmer are kind of the option here. I think this is the play. So I'm going to go for the Khmer. I think I just need that industry and to get my cities going. I do have a lot of river. We'll need siege tactics at some point, so we'll start on that, but we won't finish it. Kind of wander this way. Okay, let's end the turn. And that'll be it for the classical era. Pretty frustrating classical era, not gonna lie. So we're gonna have to deal with the Aztecs now, and really I feel like they should have been dealt with already. Just one of those things you have to live with, I guess. So land rights, definitely, we have enough influence, definitely going to go for the 10 food on attached cities this time around, instead of purchasing with gold. And then we have access to the Bares, right? So quite strong districts for me here, obviously. So we'll get to it in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.